Alright, I don't know how well this is going to show up, and I do not know the quality that I'm going to get, but just kind of wanted to show you guys what I did today. And this is kind of a test of a Vivitar action cam. This is like the cheapy GoPros. So, I'm going to give you a show, tell what I did today. I gotta get my keys out here. Oh look, we got floors now, we got walls, well, most of the wall. Still gotta do these back corners back here. So I think it's going to be cabinetry in space. I don't even know if this thing picks up sound, so I'm hoping so. Oh. Alright guys, you can see we've gotten a lot of work done, and we're kind of getting towards the final days before the trip takes off. So today we kind of got this the flooring in. This has been kind of a long process because neither one of us has had the time to catch up in terms of having a day off together. So this is our first day off together in probably 2 or 3 weeks. And we put down some linoleum here just because it's a nice flexible material instead of pergo or hardwood or what have you, just because that's just gonna start I mean the floor is pretty flexible, so I mean this was our probably best option. So beneath that we have some 1/2-inch plywood, and that's synced down to the actual bed of the van, and below that we've got some plastic sheeting here to act as our moisture barrier. The linoleum is attached with some contact cement, as you can see here, which we just kind of brushed on, as well as some of this Home Easy vinyl adhesive strip by Roberts. We still got some of this left over, and I might reuse this, so I think this worked out pretty well for us in terms of a floor. So it actually gives us a basis to work on. And as you can see, all the walls are up. Sorry I haven't done an update on those previously, but Clayton has gone through, done all the outlet work for us. I think I mentioned that in a previous message, and it's pretty much good to go in terms of getting the outlet set up. I'm just waiting on trying to get the walls together and those completed with the decorative fabric which we have, which are these Mexican blankets. I think I mentioned that in a previous video, but if I haven't, these are what we have to cover the walls. I was planning on using them to cover the ceiling up, but I think we're going to run out of time in terms of that project. I'm hoping we can at least get it bolstered up and insulated. But I've got 6 of those, so they will be going up. That's my wife's contribution to this project, is she's going to do that for us this weekend. Her attempt is going to try to salvage the blankets if possible. If not, if she doesn't get to them, my plans are to just use contact adhesive and some staples and try to get it up there as best as possible and just trim where we need it. So as you can see, the walls have been, they're not actually stained, they have been coated with shellac to keep down any odors that are in here and keep those from absorbing into the walls. It's been kind of a long and arduous process in terms of trying to get these things up and stable into a place where they can work. I mean, we've had to go through with some silicone and try to caulk these areas in here. I've also gone through with some wood putty and tried to get any of the smaller gaps filled in. I should also mention the gaps down below. This is not one contiguous piece of plywood down here. It is cut from two pieces, and I have coated those, or I've got the gaps pretty much covered up with some DAP flexible floor patch and leveler. So those it provides a pretty solid basis for us. And finally, back in here, we've kind of tackled to some degree of success. Well, not really, but it'll all get covered up. Tackled the dreaded gaps in the back of the full-size vans from back in the day. A lot of people, what they do is they just kind of run some plywood back here and just kind of square those off, and then just try to square the plywood in here on the sides with that in back. It just makes a nice square angle, and that's what was in here before, but we wanted something that was a little bit more, and I suppose that's not necessarily true. We just kind of ran out of material, so we had the gaps back here. So as you saw in previous videos, I had the Reflectix back in the corners there. On top of that, we put in some fiberglass insulation, the batting style, non-formaldehyde. Keep that in mind. This was left over from my wife's previous project. I think I showed you my trailer in a previous video, or her trailer, I should say. But that's back in there. I think it's an R19 in terms of insulation value. On top of that is some chicken wire, and that's what I had originally planned to cover it with the blankets over the top of that. The chicken wire was kind of inspired because I needed to have access back to the panels back there, so I thought that would be, a nice, real easy way to get kind of back in there without having to pull too much stuff off. But it keeps the insulation in pretty well, and on top of that, we've used some of this plastic bendy board from one of my wife's projects here, and this is pretty cheap stuff from Lowe's. And we just kind of try to get it to contour back in there to some degrees of success, but obviously it's it'll all get covered up, so I'm not too worried about it. It just doesn't look pretty, to tell you the truth, but neither did the chicken wire, so it's something that we're gonna have to live with in terms of getting this area covered up. And I think it'll look okay once the blankets are on there. So, but other than that, I think we're down to our final days of trying to get this thing built up. We may have a third traveling companion if we can get a positive response back. If not, it's just me and Ryan. And if we do, there was a third seat in here, and we will reinstall that right there, which means the bunk beds back along in here are going to be out. I think we'll try to move those over to here. Now I was thinking about this anyways, because you got the corner back here, you got the corner over here, so you've got one nice kind of support back here, support over here, support over here. If you just put like two more supports kind of here in the center to balance out the other side, I think you'd be okay. And you could probably mount them pretty well, enough to where you can still get a view from the driver's seat out the rear. In the back here, we were thinking about doing kind of a chuck wagon style storage space area with a possible cooking prep area if we don't get anything in here. And then on top and right in front of that, and on top of the wheel wells, we were either gonna try to get another bed built up, or we might do a futon or a couch. So it might be just kind of a lofted bed, futon couch down here, and then try to build this area up best as possible with a possible third seat here. So that's pretty much it. Try to give you guys a heads up when we do something else. You guys have a good day. Thanks for watching.